right, good morning. You're
All
on.
right, good morning.
Happy Tuesday. Look who we have with us. This is so exciting. Chris Bancroft, if you don't know.
So a lot of you guys probably know Chris Bancroft. Some of you may not, but Chris Bancroft is now our general manager of our dealership. Congratulations.
Thank
you very much.
Goodness, so well deserved.
We were talking very briefly here a little bit about the journey to get here, but Bancroft has not been one of our more public managers, but has been a manager and part of this team for a really long time. Been in the auto industry. It's kind of a funky deal because started with the Findlays, but then the Findlays sold the store, and so it kind of like screws up your timeline bragging rights, you know.
Well, we can get into that.
Yeah. So, but I wanted to start. This was at our all-store meeting the other day. This was actually kind of an abrupt thing. We didn't really know what was happening because we had no idea. Tony got a promotion or an opportunity to go back to Vegas, and so we were kind of sitting in limbo. And we had our all-store meeting. So, guys, check this out.
But it is my pleasure.
Seems like Tony's been gone forever now.
I'm so happy.
You're right.
I'm as happy about being back home and being with my family. It's bittersweet again for missing you guys, but what I'm about to say is making me just as happy as what happened to me. Your new general manager, effective today, is Mr. Chris Bancroft.
Chris, did you already know?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
I literally didn't find out until late in the
I've
afternoon.
been with Findlay since August
before,
2002.
Yeah.
All but 3 years.
That's good, Arganda. So Bang, I just want to kind of get your thoughts. Obviously, you already knew, and I know how much you love public things in general, so I'm sure your nerves are already going. But how did you feel getting that response?
It was overwhelming. Almost 23 years in the business. I dreamed and thought about that moment for a long time, and it was more than I expected. It just I'm actually in my memory bank here thinking about it because it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was more than I expected.
Yeah, and so you were in a unique situation already in that you were the AGM for quite a while. We had a unique situation where Tony kind of came in out of the blue, and you stayed the course. You had even said, you didn't think it was the right time for you. You weren't comfortable with the role, and then this time around, you thought, man, it's meant to be, and finally came to fruition. So. I know Christy was freaking out,
Well, we saw like a post, what was it, like on Tuesday or something, that Tony was leaving, and immediately your head goes like, please let it be Chris. Please let it be Chris. And then I saw Chris the day before, and, he's serious and not going to give me any. And I just looked at him, and I was like, universe, it's his time.
So we cut it out of the video, but I got to give Tony, he tried to, give us the old switcheroo
yeah, he
there,
said that was going to be a woman boss.
Yeah,
He's
he
like, we're
messed
bringing
with
in
us.
a new GM from California, and da-da-da.
We
You
were all
just hear the
Everybody
crowd
looked at each
groan.
Everyone looks at each other like, what?
Tony and I planned that out before.
Yeah.
Not funny
Yeah,
at
it
all.
was pretty funny. So, I want to talk a little bit about the journey. I met you as I don't know if you were already a used car manager, but used cars was kind of your world where you really grew and flourished in the car business. If you guys don't know, it's kind of broken up into service, new cars, used cars, and then overall. And so it's one of the big pillars of every car dealership. Tell us a little bit about it. When did you decide, man, this is what I want to do? I want my own store. We kind of talked about the journey of getting jobs versus finding careers. When was this the thing?
So I'll take you back to the beginning. I started in the car business in August of 2002. Cliff Findlay Auto Center in Kingman was hiring salespeople, and I had been in construction most of my life before then. And I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, so I went and interviewed.
That heat will do that to you.
Yeah, it's tough. And so I went and interviewed with Cliff Findlay Auto Center in Kingman and got the job. Found some early success, and about a year and a half into the business, they made me the used car manager up there. I worked there until 2009 and then transferred down to Bullhead because the old used car manager here, Anthony, as you know, moved up to Kingman, and so left a vacancy here. So I moved down to Bullhead. I continued to do that here at our store until 2014. Then Findlay sold the Chevy store and the Honda store in Kingman, and the new ownership there, the new owner was the only new person there. Everybody else was all the same people I grew up with in the business. And
You just walked in, the old.
it was like nothing changed. So I still say I've worked for Findlay my whole career because to me it still seemed like
family.
Findlay. But I worked up there for the new ownership up there for 3 years on the button. Jamal came down here and took over and recruited me to come back home, and it was in the 2009 range when I'd gotten to a point where I just kind of committed that, I'm probably just going to be a used car manager the rest of my career. There's not a lot of opportunities to move up everywhere, and if you're not willing to move away from the area, it's tough. And I've never been willing to do that, at least for the last 12 years, because of my family. Being a blended family, I wasn't going to take my stepchildren away from here. My career wasn't more important than their livelihood. So
I said earlier, can we talk about your blended family? And you said, of course we can. That's my why.
it is my why. It's one of my whys.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's down in Mexico. It's in Rocky Point.
Hunter just looked like
Poor
trouble in
girls.
every
Look at all
picture.
the boys.
I look way younger there.
Good surfing in Rocky Point.
So
I'm too big for a surfboard. I ain't trying it. So,
Wow.
No.
but anyway, so you kind of realized that you had more for you.
So, yeah, I actually got a call from Anthony, and he said, hey, man, I remember us talking recently, and you said that you were just kind of going to settle for being a used car manager for the rest of your life. You sure you want to do that? This new owner up here, he's the real deal, and you could possibly move your career forward again. And I was like, yeah, let's try it out. So I went up there as a used car manager, became the GSM after the first year, and that's what reinvigorated my career path. Jamal brought me back down here along with Rob, and opened up the first used car center here.
Fine establishment.
Oh, man. The taco stand, as
I
we
bought my
called
first car there.
it. You talk about being cooped up.
Hey, the sign
Yes.
is still
You could go-
showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still there.
You could walk the whole building in about 3 seconds.
Yes.
So-
yes, absolutely.
But that relit the
You
fire.
could feel other people walking the building from the other
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. You could hear people going to the bathroom next door to your
Yeah,
office.
that was a deal breaker. That's when we knew we had
Yeah.
to get out of that building.
Oh, good. This
a
is not
little
working
too small.
anymore.
So I started that, worked there for, I don't know, it was probably 6-8 months, and Rob and Jamal brought me up to the main store as sales manager, then GSM, and then AGM. And so here we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a journey.
Just like
huh?
yesterday.
It's been a journey, a lot of sacrifices. I've told this story to a lot of people. I've been doing sit downs with every single employee. I'm on my path to get every single employee. I have a sit down conversation with them, get to know them a little bit better, and then get to know me. And I tell them this. Almost every one of them I've told, I made a lot of sacrifices. And the 12 years I spent as a used car manager, I drove a lot, and I was on the road and in hotels a lot, out buying cars for the stores that I worked for. And so you get to a point where you're like, man, is this ever going to pay off? And so, all of that is why everything was just, you guys, if you watch the whole video of the introduction of my new promotion, I got pretty emotional a couple times. It's all that
We have
sacrifice
two
and hard work.
criers in the dealership. It's Christy and Bancroft.
It's all realized, it was cool. So
Yeah.
I'm blessed.
Those old road days are rough. I don't know. Before the internet really became prevalent, we would send our used car managers out in the
Yeah.
auctions, and so sometimes they would drive to Southern California, Vegas, down to Phoenix, and then back to the store in the course of a week. And so it was like everyone dreaded when the general manager come in and said, "Hey, I need you to go buy 20 cars," and you went,
Great.
All under 10 grand.
"Yeah, under
Well,
10
let's
grand."
be honest. Being a family man, this industry takes you away a lot. How do you balance both worlds? I mean, you're doing travel baseball. I mean, this is never ending for you.
Yeah, it's tough. And that's why I give a lot of credit to my wife. She really holds it down at home. takes care of the kids, get them everywhere most of the time. But you just got to do your best and try to make, the room for all of it that you can,
Yeah, you had mentioned your why a little bit, we all assume everybody knows. If you want to explain a little bit what someone's why is, and you talk a little bit more about what your why is. I feel like we all know because we talk about it at length, but sometimes people don't realize what we're talking about.
Yeah, so I believe the author is Simon Sinek, wrote a book called Start With Why, and it's a book that Jamal and Rob actually promoted us to read back in the day, and it really just, and I hope I'm not going to butcher this, but it really talks about you trying to get down to figuring out what your purpose in life is with whatever you're doing. Find your why, and if you can find your why in whatever you're doing, whether it's business, your life, or whatever, your personal endeavors, if you can attach a why to it, you're going to get more out of it. And so, my why is, as often is for a lot of people, is their families. But it's a big part of my life. I've got 5 kids. We're blended. My oldest just turned 21, and my youngest is 11, and I got them.
21, huh?
Yeah,
what
man.
The hell?
We're old. We're old.
Your baby, he's a little wild guy too.
He's
so cute.
He's definitely a handful. Super athletic, super smart kid. Gets straight A's most of the time. I don't know where he gets it from. Probably his mother. But.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, I want to know, every leader kind of wants to put their own stamp on things, right? We're very fortunate in that we got a great group of people. We have a strong team. We have strong leaders in all departments. You don't have to, we always joke, if you're taking over a dealership, you actually want to take over the one that's a hot mess because it's easy to fix a lot of things. You can make big changes. Taking over one that's humming and doing well is a different animal. But what do you want to do to put your own stamp on things to make it the Chris Bancroft era of Findlay Motor Company?
So you kind of said it. I'm blessed.
Other than get rid of Gonzo.
He doesn't know yet.
That's the first
Oh
clip.
gosh,
That was management information.
I'm gonna get like 10 phone calls now. You're not getting fired, Gonzo.
You're kidding.
It's okay.
Only kidding.
Gonzo's a rock. We're just joking.
We'd have to change the billboard if we did
We
that. That's
would.
really
Gonzo the
expensive.
Great.
It's job security once you're on a billboard.
We have an incredibly strong team that we have comprised over several years now, and there's not a lot of changes to be made. My goal is, just like the mission statement, is to work with each and every one of our employees to try to make them better, help them succeed and meet their goals. I'm a firm believer if you take care of your people inside the store, they take care of the customers outside the store and the rest of the community. I think we've done that for years now, so I don't need to recreate the wheel. I just need to continue to push our people to get their
Absolutely.
be their best. So.
I thought that mission statement was great, and I think we'll, Jeff, if you don't mind popping up that mission statement. We've had a couple over the years, and they've kind of fallen by the wayside, and I think this is a great one that really encapsulates what we're all about.
I think that most everybody here will agree with this mission statement.
I added some dramatic music.
And this is why we are who we are. This is why
It stumbles over my words.
our mission at Findlay Motor Company
It was.
is to have
And it
a
was
positive influence on
You
the
had
lives
me
of our
earlier. I would have
employees,
forgiven you.
customers we service, and the community that serves us. Our goal is to lead each and every life that we touch better than the way we found it. Everybody agree to that? Yeah! That's what we want when you hire here. That's why we ask the tough questions. Right? At least I know I do, because I want to know that the
That's
person
good.
that we're bringing here into our culture is
And
real.
if you want to pop that actual mission statement up.
I think I balled through the whole meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. I literally had to track down the card and take a picture of it. So, You know, we talk about a why. You talk about bigger things. Every car dealership sells cars. Every car dealership services cars. What sets you apart is kind of your intent and your why behind it.
Look at me. Oh, my God. I'm so emotional right now.
Oh, get the cry counter. We got Christy for
Well,
one.
I left that
Is that your
meeting-
first one of the year?
I left that meeting and I was like, I felt so emotionally drained. And I got home and I was just like, did that just happen? And I think because when you're led by someone who always lets you be heard, it changes how your whole team leads because you're so. I mean, we don't always agree, and you don't always agree with me, but I know that, and I can speak for most of us, can walk into your office and say what we need to say and feel like we've been heard. And that doesn't always happen. And so when you become this leader, it's like this moment where you just feel like everything is going to change because you're led by someone who's so passionate about how people feel and what people think. And then you say, okay, I want to meet with everybody in the whole place. And I'm like, of course he does. Of course he does. Like, it's so powerful. And I'm so excited when people are like, Chris, I'm like, yeah, you have no idea. He's so amazing. Like, I've worked with him for 4 years. And, you know, although sometimes he can make me crazy or I can make him crazy, like, I feel like I'm always heard. And that's what you get. Like, that is you.
Yeah.
So great.
You know, and I felt like rolling out a new mission statement as your as you're taking over was really like great timing. And I know that Tony had an influence on that mission statement, but I know that you had a big part in that as well. You want to kind of tell me the thought process or how you arrived at that mission statement, because it's not heavy-handed business. It's not,
No, it's not
hey
car
boys, let's
dealership.
make some money. Hey, let's sell some cars. You know, it's really about more. It's about more for your people.
So, and I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying this to sound like I'm bragging, but when Tony and I sat down to do this, it was after a conversation where, and sorry, Tony, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but he was starting to question his impact in our store, right? He had one of those moments where he's like, man, I just need to, I need to take that next step. And I said, we need to write a mission statement. He said, you're right, let's do it. So I closed the door, we sat down, and it took about 30 seconds. And it just came right out off the top of my brain. He tweaked it just a little bit. He's much better with words than I am, but it literally came that fast. And the reason it came that fast is because it's also one of my whys. My parents raised me to take care of other people and be worried about other people's well-being more than your own, and everything else takes care of itself. And so that's why it just flew off, off my brain. So it was easy, you know what I mean? Business takes care of itself when you take care of your people and you take care of your customers. And we're not always going to be perfect with it. We're going to stumble, we're going to fall, we're going to make mistakes as an individual, as a group, as a company. But it's how you react and respond to that. What sort of reparations do you make when that happens that dictates your success?
I agree. We get a lot of reviews, and I would say that a huge amount of them are positive. And every once in a while you get a bad one. And I wish I could just say, listen, we didn't mean to do this. We're sorry you had a bad experience. There's about, 140 other people this month who had a great experience. Give us another shot. How can we make it right? And it doesn't always work out. But I'll tell you, having answered these reviews and dealt with that stuff for many, many years, it's nice to know that, when I come to you, it's going to be received like it's never, get out, that customer's crazy or nothing like that. It's always, what did we do? What can we do better? Where can we fix it? How can we improve? And I think that's one of the most important things is that you're trying to improve. When you are set in your ways, convinced you're right, you can't really go anywhere from there.
And that's something that we each develop over time with dealing with those situations. It's not easy, and you don't always want to turn the other cheek, so to speak, and just take care of the customer, because sometimes you're literally not wrong, but that's not the point. And Tony that's one of the things he instilled in me here in the 18 months he was here, is he took I wasn't the worst at it, but he just took it and sharpened that skill of mine, because that's the way he lived in the store that he was in, was just take care of the customer. You know what I mean? It's the right thing to do, and if you believe it's the right thing to do, it's easy for you to do it when it happens.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So now you had mentioned when you got in the car business, a name I hadn't heard in a long time, and it was John Cole, right?
Yep.
And he'd probably been out of business for, I don't even know how long most of our employees have started in the business. So
Guys are
nobody,
showing your age a
nobody
little
would even
bit.
know who he is, I guess, is what I'm getting at. But you've had a lot of good influences over the years. You know, you had mentioned, those guys in Kingman. I think we all worked with Troy. Troy was a good one. You know, Curtis, Jamal. You know, talk a little bit about your influences coming up through the business, and talk a little bit about Tony, because Tony was only with us for 18 months, but he was really kind of the right guy at the right time. You know what I mean? So talk a little bit about, what you gathered over the years, and how you arrived to, have kind of this mentality now.
Well, first of all, I look at every single leader I had, and they all had an impact. Some of them good and some of them bad. My dad taught me when I was young that a wise man learns from another man's mistakes, not his own. But he can also learn from another person's good doings and successes. And so I've tried to live my life the best way possible doing that. And that's why I say every leader I've ever had has given me a good example, whether it was what not to do or what to do. The list is long. I've learned a little bit from every leader, from John Cole, Hank Nolte, Troy, Curtis Cutshaw.
Hank was a fun one to learn from.
He was. Stick.
Hank's a serious
Everybody
name.
was.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stick.
He was. He definitely had a
Country boy?
serious side, but he was not a serious. He was not a. He was a fun guy. Yeah, he owned. He owned the story. Like, he could be a little more fun than us. So.
Yeah. But as you know, like, as you start to mature and get older, you start paying attention to more, and so you start to absorb more. And I think in the last, 5 to 7 years is when I've learned the most. Jim Flynn up in Kingman, the partial owner, who's also the general manager, he taught me a lot, and I'm forever grateful for him, or to him, for the lessons he taught me there. All the business managers that I've worked with, they've all taught me a lot. My little segment about in the meeting about how it takes everybody from the top to bottom, to make an organization run successfully. That's something that my old business manager in Kingman taught me. And during that stint, the 3 years up there with the new company. But some of the most impactful growth that I had and wisdom that was given to me was from Jamal. And the guy's just a super intelligent, very wise man who knew how to push people and still does in his stores. And so I'm forever grateful. And Rob Terry, you know what I mean? He was also my best friend for years, and but the guy was super, super smart and very intelligent, and a very wise man on his own accord. And he taught me a lot, and he pushed me to get uncomfortable all the time so that I could be confident when I got to this opportunity.
We were joking the other day about, I think Rob forced you to go into service and learn a lot of the service business because you hadn't before. And I remember thinking at the time, what the hell are we doing? Why is Bancroft in service?
That's what I was saying. What the hell are you doing?
Why am I
What
here?
are we doing? What is he
going on? Put
doing
me
back
in my
there?
office.
You know, and talk about ended up paying off. I mean, because in all reality, Tony came in and he was a service guy, so you probably would have not needed to help in service or learn those things. It might have actually slowed you down as far as getting in here and getting going, but having done that really ended up paying off in the long run. So.
100%. And
the full circle.
Rob was one of the first people I text as soon as the news was out. And we don't talk as often as we used to, but I still got a place near and dear in my heart with the man. But I texted him and I said, thank you. Thank you for always pushing me, and when I didn't, understand why. And, I owe you a lot. I appreciate it. So,
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So the thing that I think some people, myself included, is what's in the future now, right? We'll give the quick recap of the last few years. COVID was crazy. Inventory was a mess. Supply chain was a disaster. And we pushed through it. We succeeded. We did well. Our teams did well. But that era is kind of shifting out. What does the future look like for Findlay Motor Company?
Well, obviously we got the new building going up next door for the shop and detail and a car wash.
Which I can move. You can see it. This one. Yeah.
Everything's backwards.
Yeah. So
Just hit Christy in the face. Sorry.
we didn't have a lot of drone photos back in the day, but that was all just an empty dirt lot where everybody collected their crap. And we built how much are we up to on this building?
$6-ish million.
$6-ish million service facility. And honestly, because we needed it. I mean, we had been grown out of our shop for a long time. So go ahead.
So that's opening up. I want to employ as many people as humanly possible at Findlay Motor Company, and the only way to do that is grow space and business. And so, hopefully we usually hover around 100 employees at Findlay Motor Company. With this new shop, hopefully we can pick up another 15 or 20 employees. Just continue to push. We have the used car center down in Fort Mojave, which is next door to us right now, and we don't know exactly what the future holds there because we just leased the property. But hopefully we can buy it, maybe expand down here. Who knows? Maybe we could buy a lot. The Findlays buy a lot down here, and we build our own building or whatever. So,
We're
but the goal is
hiring,
just
with
to
that
grow.
being said.
We have a lot of younger people in our business that are growing up with us, and the goal is just to continue to grow them, find their whys, get their goals and their aspirations, and do whatever we can as a company to help them realize their dreams too.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Do you have to give them a lot of those like old man dad speeches, like when I was your age?
As much as I don't
I was
like
sitting
to
out there
admit
talking
this,
to Tristan yesterday, and he's like, "It's so weird to hear you guys say you were in the business. I graduated our high school. He said I was born then. I said, "Oh, shut up, man.
animal.
Shut up.
That's painful.
Nobody wants to hear that,
I don't like to admit this a lot, but there are several gentlemen in this store that call me dad. It's bittersweet, because it is, it's a compliment, but at the same time, you're like,
Oh, am I that
I'm
old?
only 25. I don't know what you're talking about. Heck, you're dad.
Yeah. The math is, as they say, not be mathing sometimes, and you're like, wait, not. Oh no, I am. I'm definitely old enough to be your father.
Yeah.
Shit.
Good God.
Sad but true.
Yeah,
Sad
sad
but
but
true.
true. So.
It's good, though. It's good to get these young kids in here. They have a new fire. They push us to be different, better,
100%.
It's this
Yeah.
whole circle of life.
Yep, absolutely. So, did you have anything that you wanted to ask Bancroft while we're here? And I apologize.
Bancroft?
I've called Bancroft for 20 years, and his name is Chris.
It's okay. He calls
It's
me
not.
Argonda, so I'm actually Jeff. But
Nobody actually ever calls me by Chris. It's either Mr. Bancroft, Sir, or Bancroft, or Beecroft.
I was on a call with a vendor
Get all kinds of
yesterday, and I was like, let me ask Bancroft, and I'll see if we want to go forward with another call. Kind of dig into it a little bit more. And I was like, let me let the general manager know. Just such
so
a habit
natural,
over
yeah.
all those years, and it's just kind of funny. So, but
Just
I
don't
call you
forget
Christy.
that I'm Christy from Findlay, so you can't fire
Yeah.
me at
I call you Chris.
We'll
never
That's a-
fire you.
Oh,
That's a
thank
win.
God. Okay, we're good. Everything's fine.
job security, you're good, Christy.
Thanks. Now I can't tell her to do anything.
I'll be like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not going down that water
I didn't say she was
slide
untouchable.
because he said I'm not fired.
I'm not going to fire her today. I'm not going to fire her today.
Christy looks at me with this crazy look when I give her some of my wild ideas. She usually makes
You know
them
what?
work.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm
far,
in.
so good. I don't think any of them, haven't lost any limbs or anything.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the guy doesn't drink or do
Yeah,
any
doesn't-
drugs.
yeah.
So
No,
that's
nothing.
just-
I know.
that is
I'm
a
like, you
sober
just
brain.
sleep and
It's scary.
Think of these things that you could have me do, going down water slides, getting chased by goats. I mean, you never know. The community needs us, so
It's a good
we
time.
show up. That's
true.
really what
Yeah.
we're trying
I
to
love
say.
what we do in the community, and obviously that's in the mission statement, and as I said in the announcement speech, it is a huge reason why we're so successful at Findlay Motor Company is because how much we pour into this community, not just in dollars, but
Time.
things like that. You know, the community spotlights, those things do a lot to help promote other companies growing and stuff. We touch a lot of lives in a very positive way, and that's part of what I see in the future is just continue to grow that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think people fully appreciate the commitment it is when you have an actual body somewhere. To be present, to give up your time is such a large commitment, and I'm not inviting more requests. It's a lot easier for us to write a check for $500 than it is to,
Send a team
go
out.
and commit to something long term, be there week in, week out. And I think that if you guys don't know, and this is something that we have done in the past, the last few general managers as well as with Chris, man, we encourage our families guys to go see their families. You know, Gonzo tries to coach Little League. I try to coach football. Christy is going to be the president of the Rotary Club. That's very time consuming. Like a lot of this stuff can't happen without the support of the store. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's lost on a lot of people that time is very valuable.
Yeah.
It is, and you can't get it back. So, you know, that's why we have the layers that we do management-wise, so that we can afford to have them out of the store, you know, so they can be part of their families' lives. Because at the end of the day, just like the mission statement says, if we take care of our people, they take care of our customers, and the business is successful. So.
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Argonda,
Yes,
I know it's late in the show.
You got deal of the week?
You got a deal
yeah.
of the week.
Oh, we got a deal of the
We
week.
got 2 deals of the week.
We do.
There's Shane's favorite.
You guys ready? Are you ready for it? Drum roll.
I like when you pick cars that I don't fit in. That's my favorite.
This is right up your alley. This is a 2019 Chevrolet Spark LS right here. This car is clean and it's cheap. You want to know how much?
Absolutely.
Take a guess. Take a guess.
Well, with cars being as expensive as they are, I hope it's
$14,995.
Oh, sounds like a used car manager quote.
A little high.
Ooh.
Well, tell us.
Let's just say it's under 14.
Let's go.
$13,995.
All right, that'll work.
All right.
We've been
Deal,
pricing
deal,
we've been
deal.
pricing cars for a long time. Yeah.
But
Hey,
anyways,
it's a good car to send your kids off to college.
that's right. Good gas
Good gas
mileage,
saver,
yeah.
and that's our
Inexpensive.
first deal of the week. Now this is our second deal of the week, and this is also a Chevy
Aw, it's a
Spark.
brother.
Look at that.
It's a brother.
I'm
and
going to do
sister.
something a little different. If somebody comes in and announces that they watch the show and they buy either one of these cars, I'm going to include a $200 gas card.
Let's
Oh,
go.
That's like half a year's worth of gas for that thing.
Yeah.
I do like that he picked River Valley color cars.
Oh,
All right,
hey-o.
All right, so this is a 2021 Chevrolet Spark, and this is the 1LT, little different model. I don't know if you can tell, but it is. Another clean car down here at the used car lot in Fort Mojave. Come on down, take a look.
And so, in all seriousness, I think you said that they were both under $12,000, didn't you?
yes, I did.
Yeah, both
Oh,
under
wow.
$12,000. Bancroft is throwing in a little Bancroft special, $200 gas card to go with those cars, which I think is super cool because obviously, you know, that's a great car for somebody getting started on a budget, and that $200 can go a long way with somebody. So.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Come in, check that out. We know that cars have been getting super expensive, so come down to the used car center, check out the huge selection. I think we're back up
Lots
over
of
100 used
inventory.
cars again.
Yep.
And
Including
cars like
those
that
two.
and that price range
Yeah.
don't last long.
Yeah, so
Time's coming
Yeah,
up.
Gonzo and I were talking a little bit last night about tax time, and you know how important it is to carry a variety of cars, all price ranges. You know, those are both, you know, good quality financeable cars, been through our shop at a good price point. And then we got, you know, 2 really nice lifted trucks that are probably
They're beauties.
a little bit more money. All in the same lot, all in one place. So it's a great place to come down, check it out. Appreciate that deal of the week, Argonda.
Yep.
Bancroft,
Jeff.
you got any parting thoughts for us?
No. Wait. I got nothing. That'll resonate with my baseball team. Gonzo always puts me on the spot to talk at the end of practices or games, and that's kind of the phrase I coined in it. They're actually going to make some shirts for me that say, I got nothing.
I got
I got
nothing, so
nothing.
that's great. Christy, anything for everybody?
No, I'm so glad you came on the show and got to share your story. It's, you know, impactful, and we are so thankful to have you as our leader. As you know, And
Appreciate it.
no more tears here. Let's go. 2024.
Very exciting. We actually need to go to a ribbon cutting groundbreaking.
Yeah, we got-
something.
yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna get rained on out there.
Probably.
Can't
It's
believe it's been
okay.
raining so
Have no
much.
fear. We show up.
We
Yeah.
can still film.
I love
Christy might
raining.
melt in the rain.
I might.
No, don't melt.
The main
All right.
thing-
We're out of here, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Shop
Oh.
local, support local. Have
Thanks,
a great
guys.
day.
Who do we have Thursday?
Thursday. Oh, we have the chief from
Ooh.
the Mesa Fire.
All right.
That sounds very serious.
It is.
Yes. See you guys Thursday.
Go buy that car. Mention Bancroft. Get $200.